Good morning, dear students. I am Dr. A. Shankar Kumar, Assistant Professor of Public Administration, uh, working at Government Degree College, Malkajgiri. So today's topic is new public management. So it's a latest paradigm in the public administration. So first basic new public management, earlier new public administration, and then there's the uh, various paradigm in the public administration. So the most important paradigm in public administration, and also latest one is new public management. So in this new public management, first we will discuss in this topic first what is the main difference between the new public administration and new public management. And next, second point is what is the basis? What is the basis for the new public management? And what are the anti-goals proposed by various new public administration, public choice theory, critical theories, and the latest trends theories in the public administration? And then the what are the major goals of the new public management? And next point is the what are the main features of the new public management is catalytic government, community-owned government, competitive government, mission-driven government, result-oriented government, customer-driven government, enterprising government, anticipatory government, decentralized government, and market-oriented government. These are the main features of the new public management. And next last point is the what is the impact of the new public management. So some impact creation of autonomy and something. So we will discuss in this topic. And then the new public management has a new Taylorism, and some criticism from this various sides, and then the new public management approaches, and the government has taken its reforms in their policies. So in this chapter, first new public management, in this the word and the perspective we will discuss. So first, the introduction part of the new public management is uh, discussion and public administration have generally been concerned with the two E. One is efficiency and economy, and third one is the effectiveness. These are the main theme of the new public management. One is economy, means the eradication of waste. That means the saving nature of the public administration. First one. And the second one is the efficiency. This is the most, the streamlining of services, provided services by the government, it should be streamlined. And that the government want to provide, or the government leads to someone or the contractor outsourcing to the agency, through agencies. And third one is the effectiveness, the specification of the objection to ensure that the resources are targeted on problems. That means the effectiveness, that means a result oriented type of attitudes of the government. These are the 3E basic concept of the new public management. And the idea is to see that the administration became a result oriented and productive by spending the least amount of the resources. So the resources should be, so estimation committees of the Lok Sabha and other various committees, and the Controller and Director General of India also suggest the various reforms and to cultivate the government attitude toward the saving oriented. And next, the NPM, the new concept of public management or new public management, has been characterized as new paradigm, changing the way of public administration has traditionally been looked at. So in public administration, there has been numerous climbs of paradigm shift, like the, for instance, from bureaucratic to post-bureaucratic, and then the R to entrepreneurial government. So the changing systems of the new public administration is very different. And the first, the new public management perspective is the latest paradigm and the evolution of the public administration. So it came into existence from 1990 onwards. So some may be a different opinions on this system, but the NPM came into the 1990s onwards. So the book entitled was the Reinventing Government. This is the famous book written by the David Osborne and Ted Gabler. These are the famous personalities who contributed this book in the year of 1992. And then the New Public Herald in the, so this is the birth, the book has given the birth to the NPM. And the new public management represents the secondary innovation of the public administration. And the first being is the NPA. So first one is the NPA, and then the latest version of the NPA is NPM. So NPA is now New Public Administration 1960s, and NPM is 1990s. So the little bit 30 years difference. And the term New Public Management was coined by the Christopher Hood. Is the famous he used in this article entitled "A Public Management for All Seasons," published in the 1991. So the words indicated, the word name Christopher Wood has given the title name is New Public Management. And New Public Management is also called as the managerialism by polity, and the entrepreneurial government by Osborne and Gabler, and then the market-based public administration by Lawn and Rosenblum. And third way between the public administration and private administration by U.A. Goon. So there is a different names regarding their functions and their performance, and then the team of the new public management can be called as these names by different various writers. And then the new public management is essentially educates by basic changes in the role of a state, society, country, and it emphasizes on the vital role of the market as against the state. So the priority given to the state, priority to the market oriented in nature. So as the key regulator of the society and the economy. So and the state role was reduced and the increase of the market role. The basic concept. Thus, it is involved in the shift from the direct provision of services by government to indirect methods like policy making, facilitating, contracting, providing information, and coordinating other actors. In other words, the government should change from a doer to public activities to a distributor. So, the public benefits and the facilitators and promoters to change in the society and economy. So, the earlier role of the state was completely changed, and then the market, priority, outsourcing, contract, and we have seen a number of. So, in India, we have adopted the system of outsourcing from 1990s onwards. So, this is the components of the was given by the NPM. And in the few public management suggests us a series of shifts from the emphasizes of the way in which the public sector should be organized and managed to meet the new challenges of the LPG system, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. So the NPM came in the context of LPG system, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. And then the most important prominent theories are in this context is a public choice theory. Osborne and Gabler both are and the public choice theory, the most important one in the 1960s onwards. And the Vincent Ostrom, the chief protagonist of the approach advocated by for replacement of the traditional doctrine of bureaucratic administration by the concept of democratic administration. So this is the major concept, and the uh, uh, Osborne, Vincent Ostrom. So public choice theory was the most contribution to the NPM. So the components, the delivery of high quality of services that citizens values, the consumers are reconceptualized as active customers and not just a passive recipients. So that means the uh, customer oriented. Then the customer can pay the money and get the services of the government. That means the services are left to the markets. And second point is that to achieve high quality standards of service, the managers needs increased autonomy. So from 1990 onwards in India NPM effects, many autonomy were given to the various institutions regarding the functions, persons, places are given to the choices. And next, the organizational structures are being simplified and hierarchies flattened. So there is no hierarchy system and rules and regulations as given. So certain liberations and left to the market oriented. And rigorous performance measurements of individuals and organizations are made compulsory. So in government sectors and public sectors, we have private sectors, we have seen that when a promo employee or other, so the first priority should be given to this performance oriented. If performance is poor, and the rating scale also giving from poor, average, below average, above average, outstanding. And these are the types of performance methods are measuring the performance of institutions as well as the individual also. Depending upon this, the ranking system will be given. So, so certainly we have seen that in degree government colleges, a NAC accreditation is compulsory to get the funds from the UGC. So the ranking A, B, C, D, like this rank will be given. Depending upon their rank, they will get the financial assistance from the government. And then they constantly exposing them to skill improving training programs. So the skill oriented programs are started, and then the self-employment, like self-employment, and the government sectors employment opportunities viabilities are very less. This is also major training program. And then the NPM advocacy, uh, receptiveness to competition and an open-minded attitudes. There is a competition choice. So then the rich, poor, there is a leftover to the system. And then the point, the salient features of the NPM are the traditional process oriented administration is replaced by the oriented administration with the emphasis on performance indicators. So evaluations and performance related pay and quality of improvement. So if an employee works hard and he will reach certain period, and he will get a good salary and depending upon his performance. If an employee or institutions are not playing or reaching its goals in a time limit program, this institution will not get a much salaries and others allowances also. So depending upon the performance and the wages will be determined. So this is the performance linked system of the NPM. Earlier it was not tied. So earlier the system was the liberal in nature. So not related to the performance, but it is like a rules and regulation oriented. And next, the customers replaces the citizen, and the production line of public administration is broken up into individual pieces for contracting out or privatization. So most of the government institutions we can see in India and other states, and the most of the government sectors are uh, disinvestmenting the public sector, and the share of the public sectors are uh, providing on the basis of outsourcing, contracting, either leasing, so public-private partnerships. So this PPP systems came from the 1990s onwards with effect of the NPM. And the major emphasis is on cost cutting rather than spending. So if not a merely allocation of the budget and schemes and programs, So the cost cutting nature is the most important factor of the NPM. The administrative motto is to do more and better with less of the same. That means lesser allocations and more effectiveness. And the small government and more administration. This kind of system was adopted by the various countries. And structurally clusters rather than the pyramids as the represented model for the design of the administrative system. So we have seen in the traditional theories like classical theories and other theories, the theories was the main focus on the pyramidical structure, on top to bottom, and then the authority flows from top to bottom, and the responsibility from flows from the bottom to top. This kind of system is overriding. So the bureaucratical approach and the rules and regulations and the administrative process and the anti-hierarchical, these are the anti-goals. These are the anti-goals of the NPM. So one is anti-bureaucratic approach, and the second one is institutional pluralism. Suppose in gas agencies, we have earlier seen that the only one gas agencies, that is the Indian Gas or HP Gas. Now, a number of gas agencies that is provided to the citizens. So, institutional pluralism, that is the plurality of agencies to promote a consumer's preferences. So, the consumer can get his choice. The consumer can get any choice and his opinion to decide whether want to stay for these agencies or other agencies. There is no single and monocratic system of agencies will not be provided. Earlier it was there. And then the diverse democratic decision making centers. So it's various level from the, that means there is no focus on the centralization. That means the decentralizations of policy making depending upon the area approach. And then the application of economic logic to the problems of public service distributions. So, and then the authentic and biometric systems and others system we have seen in the day by day. So, fingerprinting, everything is. So, the IT based linking with the public services. This is also system. And next, the popular participation in the administration. That means the civil societies are invited and the stakeholders are invited to take they are making in the decision making. So suppose impossible in the direct democracy at the grassroots level in India is Grama Sabha. This is the kind of system provided by this uh, public choice theories and NPM. And next the structurally clusters rather than the pyramids as they refer to the model for the decision of the administrative system. And there is another the dichotomy between core policy activities and the adaptive operational services, replacing the traditional planning and hierarchical execution and decisions. So this is the old system has gone. Now this the policy activities and the flexible in the policy decision making and structure system. And the purpose of ownership seen as efficient management rather than possession. That means the position, nobody can change, it is my duty and it's my position. Depending upon the functional system was given priority and then the position. So the position of the government system totally changed. And now this functional based system was given to the choice. And then the system in the NPM as a new Taylorism. What is the meaning of Taylor? Taylor suggested W. Taylor, the theoretical theory. The theoretical root of the NPM is hidden in a kind of new Taylorism. The difference between the two theoretical bases of NPM, public choice and new Taylorism, is the public choice focus on the relationship between the internal and external organization, whereas new Taylorism is concerned with the internal organizations of the bureaucracy. So the cause of bad management, according to new Taylorism, lies within the administration itself. So and the internal changes were very much uh, change, and the importance was given to the external factors. So the NPM as a new terrorism system concept was given. So and then the other the government system has changed. One is the entrepreneurial government. So the book Reinventing Government by David Osborne and Gabler has came out with the at another prescription of what they call entrepreneurial government. An elaborate case has been made out to the transform the bureaucratic government into an entrepreneur. And then the prescription is not abolishing government, but reinventing it. That means the small changes should be made in the governmental structure and procedure was given. So these are the entrepreneurial type of government. Priority was given by the uh, uh, Husband and Gabler. And so then the anti-goals, one is the politics, administration, dichotomy, and then the anti-goals be hierarchy, ridden organization. Third is the over-centralization of power, supremacy of rules in administration, rationality in decision making, and impersonal nature of administration, rigidity in administrative process, inward-looking orientation. These are the anti-goals of the NPM. So these are the 8 anti-goals of the NPM. And then the goals and futures of the focus by the Christopher Wood. One is emphasizing on professional management. This is the most important. So every institutions or organization should give priority to the professionalism. Then the professionalism increases, then the specialization will leads like a division of work. And then they so emphasize on performance, professional management in the public sector. So the public sectors was a tremendous changes occurred, and more shares and share is given to the private organizations. And next, the laying of explicit standards and the measures of the performance. So one is performance, and second one is the professional management, and a shift to greater emphasis on output controls rather than procedures. So procedures, rules, and regulations are overridden, and the priority is given in the output mode. That means the result oriented, output oriented, and a shift for the disaggregation of units to the public sectors. That means involve the private sectors, and then the stress on private sector management practices. Those number of institutions are better running comparatively in the government. The private sectors performance and for private sectors following rules and regulations, how they are getting more and more benefiting and the confidence of the peoples will certainly adapt to the government sector also. This is also. And next, the stress on greater discipline and parsimony in the resource uses. So the resource also given the importance. And then the and Osborne and Gablers have also finded out these various principles uh, principles of the new public management, that is the entrepreneurial government. They will explain it below. First one is the catalytic governments. What is the meaning of catalytic government? The government should concentrate on catalyzing the public sector, private sector, and voluntary and non-governmental sectors into action, and to solve the societal problems, not just on the providing services. Thus, the government should engage itself in steering rather than roving. That means providing, that is encouraging. The government should encourage to the uh, non-governmental organizations and other sectors. So, and then the community-owned government. What is the meaning of community? The government should strengthen and empower the citizens, families, communities to solve their own problems. So then the since the government should take on various services from the control of the bureaucracy. So slowly the role of the bureaucracy was reduced and empowering the citizens. So now we have seen this uh, uh, collecting of taxes from the bureaucratic oriented to the online mode. We have seen a number of, so the citizens are empowered. So they don't want to stay in the queues, lines, and everything. And they easy through the on the ICT based technology. And next, the competitive government. The government should inject competitions among the different providers of goods and services by regarding efficiency and economy. So they increase performance and reduce the cost. So an n number of private, suppose we can take the providing the various structures and sectors, then the more competitive agencies are involved, and then the automatically the cost is reduced. Suppose if we can take example in the communication sectors. Earlier the communication, the mobile charges, the data are very high. Now the various competitive agents are involved in the telecom sector, and then the cost was tremendously reduced. This is for example for the competitive government. And then the mission-driven government, the government should be driven by its goals and not by its rules. So priority should be given the goals, not the rules and regulations. So there is a much relaxation for the rules and regulations. And in other words, it involving the transforming rule-oriented government to into goal-oriented. So goal is in place, replaced by the rule. This is the important call is mission-driven government. So goal is important than the rule. And the result-oriented government, the government should find outcomes by encouraging target achievements, mission directed efforts. It should measure the performance of its agencies mainly by the terms of outcomes, not in inputs. So, so low cost, high productivity. So we have seen a number of software companies and other institutions are good. So with meager income, they are getting more benefits. This is the outcome and the system of the system. And then customer driven government. So citizen is treated as a customer. So one is the government should regard the clients or customers. So it should meet the words towards the customers and not the bureaucracy. It involves offering them choices, surveying their attitudes, making services convenient, and following them to make suggestions. So you have seen the online services providing in that, then the customers are giving good suggestions to the strengthening soft system, strengthening weakness, opportunities, like that. And enterprising government, the government should emphasize on the earning money rather than the spending. So government also earn the money, not the duty is to spend the money. This also it should put its the energy into resource mobilizations of using needs from rising first places and not just to deliver the services to meet ends. So government also establish a uh, uh, government also like act as a entrepreneur and to get the benefits from the business. And next point is the anticipatory government. So what is the meaning of anticipatory? Means Latin the foresee. That means the government should identify and prevent problems rather than cure them after they occur. So that is the kind of future plan. The government should prevent the needs from rising in the first place and not just delivery services to meets and ends. That means a future plan is must to the government. And next point is the decentralized government. So what is the meaning of decentralized? Means decentralized authority. That is the uh, dispense of authority from higher to lower levels. It involves a shift in working pattern from the hierarchical and cannot do participatory management and teamwork. So the teamwork, the encourage the teamwork and people's participation at the different levels, sharing benefits, taking decision and implementation level. So more involvement of the people is necessary to success for these government programs. And next one is the depending upon the market and the state. That means the state versus market system, and the state should be minimized and left to the services for the market, and the citizen can purchase the services from the market on the basis of demand and supply. So the government should opt for market mechanism rather than bureaucratic mechanism. So it should achieve goals not only by control and command, but also by the restructuring market. That the it should leverage change through market forces. So there is a system of the state, market, and civil society. So as much as the government want to reduce the role and role of the bureaucracy and others, and providing more choice to the citizens to get the services from the market section. These are the uh, main features of the uh, NPM. And then the Osborne and Gabriel also explained the concept of the various entrepreneurial government system. So promote competitions, diverse providing goods, services, citizen empowering, and driving missions, and then the measure performance and the market mechanism. Focus not simply by providing public service, but on the catalyzing all sector. That is the catalyzing. That means to encourage the private sectors in it. So the public administration totally has changed its nature, scope, and behind that, now public administration is on the basis of like a private administration. There will be a little difference or more difference between the public and private sectors, but when the state role is reducing and more priority left to the private sectors, the public administration is importance very less. That means the only regulatory in nature. That means the only like a watchdog. So the active role of the state was very reduced. And so what is the impact of the NPM? We have seen and observing in nearly 30 years onwards, reforming in various sectors, we have seen, observed and witnessed. So in pursuing the goals of the NPM, the government in different parts of the world have used a number of mechanisms. One is the creation of autonomous and public organizations. So recently the government is also in new education policies and other policies and public policies we have seen, more autonomy was given to the various local institutions also. That means the role of state was reducing. And the second one is reducing the size of government. So when we earlier we have seen that uh, the constitution of the Council of Ministers was bounded to the 1 by 15 and the Constitutional Amendment Act 91. So the size of government was also reduced. So there is a cost cutting nature of the government. This is also a tremendous changes, developments occurred in this India. And then the corporatization of the government organizations. So now the new public government institutions and societies are not establishing. If needed, the government is liberalizing, giving chance to the private sector to establish a private sectors, and the reducing budgets and welfare expenditures also. So more and more budgets were tremendously, you can see, make an attempt to the analysis the budget program earlier to 1990s and after 1990 onwards, the tremendous changes were happened. And the reforming in civil service structures. Recently, the various committees also have given a chance that, and the Article 311 and 309 was the amended, and the protection of the civil servant was abolished, and the protection was not providing a immunity to the civil servant. This is also one kind of uh, uh, changes was taken by the government. And performance measurements and evaluation. This is the most important when the government service taking institutional concerning and in the individual concerning also. So performance indications are must to get a promotions or to pay hike and various benefiting from the public sectors. And the private sector also following like this. And the decentralization of authority to lower levels. They are seen a number of systems are contracting, outsourcing, private agencies, promoting openness and transparency in administration is also most important. And then the government of India is the Right to Information Act is the one of the weakness to the uh, for transparency and administrations. And in place of transparency administration, there is no hidden and official secret acts. Now the Indian government was abolished during the acts were made by the British government, and encouraging people's participation in administrations. So earlier bureaucracy were not showing importance to the involvement of the peoples in various programs. So the correctiveness and the corruption-oriented programs are much more reduced, and the people's participation was encouraged nowadays. So and the declaration of citizen charts and so forth. So the citizen chart is the government service. Getting of the government service is a citizen right. So information is right, and the getting the service is also one of kind of right. That means the duration and the people's chart. So the government service provided by the government within a time limit. If the authority is failure to provide the time bound limit, and he will be punishable. That is a citizen charters and citizen, and then the social medias and other services also played a greater role to the NPM. So the new public management is nothing but a private oriented nature. That is a private system practiced by the private sectors of the USAs and other countries like developed countries. But these practices and systems are not equally, equally applicable to the developing and backward countries. But is certain changes were uh, compulsory to adopt the sustain the public sectors, and there will be a certain NPM policies so let's say more market, bureaucratic mechanism, smaller government, bigger society, network, partnership, market mechanism, new public management, and new public governance. So the new public management now they converted into the new public governance, good governance. Now the concept of smart, simple, moral, accountability, responsibility, and transparency. So the public services provided by the government was tremendously changes. And then the NPM dimensions in comparison with the public administration, new public administration, and new public management. Maybe older, new, some maybe little bit changes for focus of attention, policy advice, public administration. And now the public management focus operational and strategic management, value for money. So it's operational and direct in practice. And the organizational form can take vertically integrated organizations. There is a greater managerial autonomy. So there is no, the manager is the boss. He can have a knowledge like a situational leadership. He can take any actions and any decision making. The ultimate goal is result oriented. That is the type. And then the performance pressure is earlier is was low, poor IT basis. Now the high advanced IT basis. So more apps and more systems, good governance practices and ICT is linked. Now the EAP is concept. These are the comes under the new public management process. And then user focus is the inward facing and producer led. So then the more outwarding facing. Now this system is outward, and the external links is the most important. And the greater user orientation, that is the citizen oriented and market oriented. And the managerial role is the modest earlier is a little bit, and then now this expanded. So the manager is the king. The the capacity and caliber depending upon the organization depends upon the manager only. And the change orientation earlier was the priority rules and regulations was bounded in nature. So it's a law. Now the rules or regulations are flexible due the context of LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization, and now the new public management is totally uh, in a private oriented. So NPM focus on 3E and 10 goals, futures, anti-goals, public choice theories, and some other theories, and related to the public management concept. Areas we have seen that. So anyhow, this is the different totally to the total traditional public administration, new public administration to the new public management. So the new public management advanced is the good governance concept. So anyhow, no public management is the point depending upon the government structure and functions. Now it is the practice of the developed countries. Now the new public management systems are uh, in developing countries and backward countries also adapting, and the role of the state was reduced, and and then the market role was encouraged, and the involvement of citizens and the civil societies were given the priorities. So there is no free service from the government. Everything is provided by the uh, user charges. User charges is a new concept also. So providing government service is not a right; it is a market oriented. So the citizen can treat it as a customer. So as a customer, citizen want to pay and get the service of the government. This is the basic concept of the NPM. So thank you very much. Later we will discuss the public choice theories, characters, and certain new reforms in the NPAM, and next the latest developments and paradigms in the public administration. So, new public administrations is a new public management is also a greater contribution to the public administration.